Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. Shout out to the number of people I've said who've made a comment that they want to be the 20th. You're all the 19. Welcome aboard if you are new. I appreciate you checking this out. So, yeah, we've got some. This is a shock WNBA drama for you. Yeah, so we're gonna dig into this. This. I'm sorry. I'm just in that headspace now where it's like I have to laugh at it all because it's so ridiculous and these people are just so awful that all you can do is laugh. This is Brittany Sykes. She tweeted this out yesterday, actually before the game, and she's a player, folks, for the Washington Mystics. Okay, and she's talking about Caitlin Clark and her fans. Even if you don't want the responsibility, you still have a responsibility. Speak up. Clearly, she's talking about Caitlin Clark, and it's apparently Caitlin Clark's job to solve all the world's problems and to speak out about every single troll on the internet, which we all know is absurd. But I don't think Brittany's that bright. So, I guess we have to excuse her a little bit. The W has no place for the crap that's being displayed or said to women in our league. Don't use players to hide behind true intentions of being mean, nasty, and ist. It's disgusting. Respectfully, Brittany, this is gross. Your tweet is gross. Your attitude is gross. Caitlin Clark has zero responsibility to speak out against trolls on the internet. You are a liar for saying that trolls have anything to do with being Fever fans or supporters of Caitlin Clark, because you know that's not true. Trolls have existed ever since we could get on the internet. They have nothing to do with sports. They have nothing to do with Fever fandom. They have nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. They have always existed from, I don't know, probably the first, like, what were they like? What were they called? Bulletin boards when it first started, kind of that first old school like forum type group, and you had like what if you go way back when AOL was big, right? Didn't you have like AOL? Weren't there like groups or like group chats or something like that just randomly popped up, and on and on, and these people have always existed, and they're miserable people who will say absolute horrific things just to get the attention and the reaction. I mean, I see it in comments on my videos, but the WNBA and its players like Brittany absolutely hate Caitlin Clark, call it jealousy, whatever you want to call it. They can't stand her fans either. They don't like the eyes on them. And as I keep saying respectfully to people like Brittany, the fans will happily go away when you shush and give up the NBA money. Okay? You cannot even stand on your own. You need the money from the NBA players, who, by the way, get it far worse than you do, and they always have. You're actually just kind of entering into normalcy because it's the first time you've had more than 5 fans for the entire league. But you didn't care because you always got the charity handouts because you're entitled. You've never had to earn anything. The WNBA has never had to make money. Give up the NBA money. I don't want to hear from you about anything. I don't want to hear any complaints from the likes of Brittany Sykes until you are no longer taking NBA money and having to either turn a profit or fold. The WNBA should not exist. It doesn't deserve to exist. And I don't say that to be mean or to say that women shouldn't have a chance to play basketball. What I mean is the reality is it's not a product people have wanted. And I've said this in a couple of videos going way back. Look at women's soccer. NWSL is like, what, the fourth or fifth, maybe, professional league, and the others have all folded. The NWSL is I think, the first one to get past 5 seasons without folding. And by the way, The rookies in the NWSL make maybe half, if that, of what, in terms of the minimum amount of what the WNBA rookies get. They haven't had a big, huge, successful league like the NBA, and Michael Jordan dragging Cheryl Swoops around to try and make the WNBA a big thing. All these advantages that you've had, and you can't make money over 3 decades. And yet you're going to sit here and whine and complain about fandom. It's ridiculous, and people are tired of it. And Fever fans, stop supporting this league. I know, I get it. You want to support the league now that you've been around for Caitlin Clark. You want to find players you can support. And there are a few, okay? And I always go to Dallas because two of my favorite to watch, and even just what I've heard from what they said, Arike and Satu. But it's very, very, very few. Not enough. There are Brittany Sykes, the Brittany Sykes of the WNBA. They outnumber the Arikes and the Satus by like 20-1. Really. And 90% of them are on the Fever. But what I was really happy to see is actually like this. Hear me out. Stop crying. Remember that is so much pushback. I mean, I think for like every comment on here in support of Brittany is someone who's saying like, whatever, get over it. Being called this stuff doesn't bother us anymore because you've been doing it all the time for everything. Everything that you disagree with, you call that person an ist or a phobe. And people are like, whatever. People used to be terrified to be called these certain words because it was like the worst thing you could do to somebody. And now it's like, oh, it's a day that ends in Y. Someone who doesn't agree with me is calling me this thing. I don't care. That's where you've gotten people. So what you're doing here, Britt, it's not going to work. It might have worked 10 years ago, but now you're just making your situation worse. People are tired of it. They're fed up with it, and they're going to push back. Michael Jordan would disagree with you. It is the player's responsibility to play basketball, not solve the world's problems. No wonder no one watched the league prior to CC arriving. How about instead of always wanting everyone to speak up, y'all just STFU for once, trying to gaslight fans to hide behind to push your own agendas. J-Lon was not happy. OMG, shut the F up. She's not responsible for the actions of internet trolls. Shut the F up. Maybe if you not saying that word were media trained, the crap would get ignored. Instead, MFS posts every hate comment they receive and continue to add gas to the fire. Just shut up. Speak up then. Speak on the Dana Evans and Isabel Harrison situation in Chicago. Nah, I bet you won't say anything because it's Angel and she tans better than 22. Or hey, how about the Mabry thing and wanting to leave Chicago because of the abuse? We could talk about that as well. But that does not fit the agenda they want to push. Put a name to it and say with your chest out, because if you're talking about Cece, you'll be proven wrong in 1.5 seconds. Some advice. Grab a Brittany Sykes post from 6 years ago. If you can't do nothing else in this world, you can always control your attitude, energy, and effort. Got that, Britt? Hamby. Yes, remember Derek Hamby and her treatment by the Las Vegas Aces? Evans and Harrison could have used your support. Where were you then? Funny how you pick and choose your causes. You are 100% wrong. She doesn't control what other people say. She doesn't need to call out people because you think she should. Still waiting for Angel Reese to call out Chicago Sky fans for the treatment of Mabry and Evans and Harrison. And for, I don't know, Asia Wilson and Kelsey Plum to call out their fans and their coach and their owner for the treatment of Derek Hamby. The lose-lose scenario for anyone who does it. We look to pro sports for entertainment and to escape the woes of the day. We do not look to sports for political commentary. Can't feel sorry for them. It's not right for people to do those things, but they have not defended Caitlin once. She had it bad all season, and it's been crickets. What are you talking about? Are we talking about the Sky players I saw on a podcast? I hate how these fans hate on me when all I do is subtweet the person they like. Oh man, and it just goes on and on. And I tell you what, one thing I would like to see. Oh, this is good. Yeah, pretty much. That sounds about right. So yeah, so lots of pushback on Brittany, which is really good to see. One thing I would really like to see, and look, okay, kudos to Caitlin Clark for not doing it. I get it. She's a much more mature 22-year-old than I was, but I really, at this point, because of this nonsense, would love for Caitlin Clark to release all the, DMs and emails and all the stuff that she has gotten because you know how horrifically bad some of the stuff Caitlin Clark has had directed at her, but she doesn't put it out there and she doesn't talk about it, which is all any of these other players do. It's night and day. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, I would really love to see what Caitlin Clark has had to endure in that regard and had that put out there and then say, hey, Brittany, would you like to speak on this? But of course she wouldn't. Of course she wouldn't, because that's not helpful to what she's trying to push. Kinnick North, good account. You should go follow Kinnick. Are you? Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Are you stupid or something? Yeah, it's crazy. Always race, isn't it? If you know some people, some people are just a holes. Speak up against who? For who? How many people spoke up for everyone being harassed? How many players did the harassing? Absolutely. You got some crazy people like Colleen that aren't very bright. No woman deserves this ever. I guess men do. I don't know. Because y'all might want to pay attention to what happens to NBA players. Great call, Brittany. Could you speak out against the person tweeting this nonsense and the 100,000 likes and reposts and the countless private message hate received by her? Or is that somebody else's responsibility? For those of you that don't know, this is Antonio Brown, yes, the former football player, and he has repeatedly posted some of the absolute most horrific stuff about Caitlin Clark, and it has gotten tons and tons of attention. Like I said, 100,000 likes and reposts, which says a lot about those people. So these are the Brittany people, folks. Brittany, these are your people doing this. It would be interesting to see you speak out against it, but I don't think that's going to happen. Man, these people they just don't give up. But what they don't realize is they're going to get a lot of pushback now because people are tired of it. They're not just going to let it go. They're not just going to be all silent and worried that Brittany's going to call them a bad word that they don't like. Nah, it's over. The jig is up. People are sick of this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below about this nonsense. I think we're going to see a lot more of it now. I mean, I think I just saw Melissa Smith post out something about pushing back against the people who made the comment about the flowers she sent about how, oh, she can speak freely now. And, she was supporting her girl's mental health and all this blah, blah, woof, woof nonsense. Bye-bye, Melissa. Bye-bye. You're not going to be a fever anymore. You're going to fade into oblivion like you were before Caitlin Clark arrived. But man, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks so much for checking out this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I do believe we're like 200 away from 10,000 now. Oh, it's sad how much it's slowed down, but we're creeping there, folks. We're creeping there. So go ahead, click that subscribe button if you haven't yet. I really do appreciate it. And I will talk to you later.